It's been 790 days since the terrible event. Guys, wait for the message to speak. First things first, it looks like we're getting confirmed. Why is that timeline hitting green, guys, over and over? Do you remember when I drew my squiggly line guess? We're really getting close. People, this is the USCT.dominance chart, right? If I could just see, I wanted to talk about my very last XRP by my very last ever, guys. Check back soon to see if I can see XRP around maybe 49.50 cents. Okay, guys, this is going to be my last purchase ever. There's no reason for me to buy anything else. I'm set. Someone made a higher low right from the last low, like this, so you can see the lows or highs over here. That's the next low over there. Like Bitcoin. Guys, do you think it will look like this? Let's look at this. That's a low point, a higher low point somewhere up there, right? Yes, that's what I think. It's still okay with me. If I do see, guys, if my statement comes true, I'm going to buy more XRP before the run happens, because look at this. This is from people who try to make money. Bitcoin, if September isn't the lowest point in the area after that, it must be time to leave the building, right? From my point of view, this is what I said a while ago. My estimate for the chart was right. Other analysts are saying the same thing, right? That's the same thing, right? So we called it first, and it happened today, the 5th of every month. Hopefully they'll just dump it and move on to better things. After this dump is over, I'll be making my last purchase soon because I think the markets will soar high on eagle's wings. Want to know why a 50 basis point rate cut is likely in September? As we look at that, they're suggesting that a 50 basis point rate cut rate hike, no, I'm at cut right now. So 50% or 0.50% guys cuts on the table right now. It's a possibility. By the way, if this happens, the markets will go through the roof and never stop until they finally do. It's been 790 days since the Great Catastrophe and the messenger talks. The longest reversal of the yield curve in history began in 2022. Today is the last day. What will happen next? Feel free to guess and wonder. Guys, take a look at that. Guys, take a look at that. Guys, this has been the longest yield curve reversal ever. It began in 2022. What does that mean? Okay, guys, let's listen to this. This reversal of the yield curve is worse than those that happened in 1929 and 2008. What is it time for? Hold on tight. After that, guys, after. Okay, this is my plan. You guys want to know my whole plan? That's right, I'm going to lay it out for you all to see. If you haven't already, please like today's film and subscribe. There are a lot of lines, but what do I think will happen? Yes? Oh, I tried to be honest. From there I thought, we're going to dump like that and then come here, right? It's going to be bottom of the market, right? Top of the US, which is the most important thing, right? We're pretty much right there, guys. I think this should be the top of the chart and the bottom for all coins, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and others. But I think what will happen now is that we guys go down like this, right? That far down, but then we might have to go all the way back and then all the way down, right? This part right here will be the area of the slowdown, right? That's my plan for now. Guys, I know things are about to get very unstable, but whenever I see bullish difference like this, right? That's how this goes back down, where I'm no longer able to buy or sell any coins other than XRP, right? The price of XRP is likely to stay high because I feel safe keeping it during recession, right? It's not a funny choice, but please like this movie and let's go. These guys, are you ready for this video to really scare you? Because this is worse than 19 to 90,000 help, guys. I haven't watched it or gone to watch it with you guys, but I know it's scary. That means that when the slump hits, they will probably print $20 to $30 trillion worth of money. But guess what? That's where we get very rich. That's when we put our money back in. Do you guys get it? Keep quiet. In August, the yield curve in the United States was not on its side. That means the yield curve went from being below zero to above zero, which is known as a reversal. This light went off in May 2007, a few months before the global financial crisis, and again in November 2000, a few months before the slump of 2001. Yes, I'd like to bring up something. You guys saw how it changed shape when it stopped being upside down, right? The decline didn't start right away. Guys, it took a little longer. The dark bars show the recessions. You know that these are the wrong recessions, right? This needs to speed up more than the slump did. The signal has been set off exactly once in history, and each time it happened, it was right before the US economy lost steam. In October 1929, right at the start of the Great Depression, the yield curve wasn't reversed. This was true even before the Depression. The reason this works so well is that the yield curve basically tells us how the job market is priced in the financial markets right now. Right here, you can see that the jobless rate follows the exact path of the yield curve at all times. In these cases, the yield curve is reversed, which means the job market is very hot. At these times, the Federal Reserve is likely to be raising interest rates and tightening monetary policy to cool down the job market. When the yield curve straightens out and gets steeper, it means that the Federal Reserve is lowering interest rates. This is because the job market is slowing down and the jobless rate is usually going up. And as you can see, this time has been the same as always. The yield curve is here. That's getting steeper and coming out of an inversion at the same time that the US jobless rate has really started to rise. The yield curve is likely to get steeper and the jobless rate is likely to go up. Does that mean that we're about to go into a recession? This would be very bad for the stock market if it turns out to be true. The yield curve, we pushed it back to November 2023. I promise that no one else is making the same calls as us. Why? Do you want me to explain? I'll show you the way. I'll show you right now why. Help me find it. Guys, let me get the chart. It only comes from this chart, which shows the jobless rate. It's time for the 6th month. In other words, there is a bullish split. Guys, I'm not moving, I'm not lying, nothing. There is a positive divergence right now, which means that this would go through the roof. That point has probably been the bottom for a while now. This is the unemployment number. When it goes up, it means a recession is coming. Guys, we called it a long time ago. But now people are getting caught up. The stock market went down for a 10% downturn in 2023 because of her steepening. It was between June and August 2024 that the yield curve steepened, which also caused the SP 500 to drop by 10%. The SP 500 would go down as long as the yield curve kept getting steeper, which would lead to more fears of a recession. Right now, we think that's the way we're going to be going. And the drop in the stock market in July and August was just a taste of what will really happen when the recession hits. But you can see that the yield curve has actually cooled down again lately, which has helped the stock market recover. This is known as a whipsaw signal, and it's not the first time we've seen it. If we go back to 2006, you can see that it was first upside down in February 2006. The yield curve then started to straighten out, which happened at the same time as a short drop in the stock market. Now, look at what happened right after that. The yield curve went back to being inverted because the recession was put off, which let the SP 500 reach new highs. From 1998 to present, the yield curve also slightly swung backwards in July 1998. After that, the yield curve got steeper and stopped reversing. At the same time, the stock market went into a panic. During that time, the SP 500 fell by 20%. After that, the yield curve went back to inverting because the recession was put off, which let the stock market go through the roof and reach all-time highs. Let's go back to 1989 once more. It turned upside down in the first half of 1989, but it turned back up in June and July of that year. But once more, you can see that the slowdown didn't start until the middle of 1990. This signal right here was a whipsaw signal, and it caused the stock market to keep going up for a whole year. In the last 40 years, there have been 3 whipsaw signs linked to yield curve inversions. So, is that what we're seeing today? Was this just a short whipsaw warning that would let the stock market rally keep going up like it did in those other cases? Now, I mean, just look at that mark. That's the same thing with our, look at that, guys. Doesn't that sound like the same thing as our theory? So guys, please wait a moment. Please look at this again after I put this back in. This fits with what we just talked about, right? How this chart should drop, which means that the top for cryptos and stocks will soon be broken, right? Which makes sense since the yield curve is going back down, right? But when the slump comes, guys, it's going to go through the roof. Yes? I hope that works out though. Guys, I know for sure that they're going to bring out this black swan. We might as well make the most of it, not by any means. Yes, that does seem to be what's happening. We told our members about this when the yield curve stopped falling and everyone was talking about a recession. At that time, it was hard for us because it wasn't clear what was causing the country to go into a recession. You see, every single recession we've had in our financial past has been caused by a different type of event. The attack of Kuwait in 1990 was what caused the oil shock. Millions